Wondering if we see a shift from him. As we see the Scion locked in from Jokla, I am wondering if NRG are going to go for a swap, especially since
Devi is down here in the bottom lane, looking to set up for the dive. Cannon Minion's going to soak most of the shots. Dokla's still hanging around for now. They lock him up, beat him down. First blood over to Busio and FlyQuest.
A good lane for your mid laner.
And I think they might be going for more down bottom. Inspire doesn't have anything to do other than dive to Scion once again.
Here we go. Busio with another root. Gonna tank the maximum amount of turret shots. Gets out of the way in time, and Masu gets the last bullet. Inspired ain't gonna die to the counter attack while NRG gets one back here on the top lane, tier 1.
Prio on this, or they have control over this top side. He'll be able to pick up these grubs looking uncontested while Inspired will go for the first straight.
Exactly. The contest isn't direct. They're just saying, all right, we'll handshake these. I'll take Dragon, you take Grubs. No problem there. Dokla still just trying to enjoy the sights, sounds, and smells of the Rift here in his lane swap game as he walks
For
around.
these grubs or not.
Yeah, NRG got the first pot of grubs now. They've got the first one in the second pot as well, so they're guaranteed to have the grubling spawns. Arrow flies out. They find the connect onto Inspire, but he gets himself back away. Now Dokla's going to be taking some damage. His Contracts needs to disengage here with the decoy. They wanted to try to get in for the flank attack, but it ain't going to work out because Palafox is picked off and shut down before he can do a damn thing. FlyQuest dismantled him, and they'll take the last couple of grubs.
And that fight was all about the angles. Palafox tried to approach for the...
They need to go bot one person. Good call for the TP. Any flashes?
Oh!
Odd.
Right back.
Yeah, he just got caught hand in the cookie jar at Raptors there.
Hey, I said maybe the Wukong with his little 300 gold lead
Has a vision of how to play the rest of the game out. You can see just 1v1 taking this turret and extending his lead.
Yeah, and now he's even going to get the play.
They take a fight. It has got to be decidedly in their favor. Quad and Inspire taking the chance, going after the tier 1 here in the mid lane instead as Busio tries to get away. The engage from NRG ain't doing a whole lot here just yet. Who he might just die instead as Whipple continues kiting and fighting right on back. Contract on the front line is going to be killed off first. Masu goes on a killing spree. And the cavalry has arrived! NRG are dropping like flies, and FlyQuest got the fly swatter all day! Inspired takes out FBI, and he goes straight back in for the objective. Quad is still ready to keep this one going, and he's ready to go to hell home. He's trying to get away to the safety of the lane, the safety of the minions, but there's no safety left, man. Busio sped up. He is going all in. Alcove Gaming will not save you. Run, little Rakan, run. Just think about Xayah. Think about home. Try to think about something happy because the fight...
them be successful with, right? So they look completely comfortable, even with most of their success this summer coming...
Think about and discuss game 2. Because
you have to...
it is not in a good state at the moment.
Thought economy is what we're talking
Whipple's
about.
pants.
Whipple might have found himself caught. He wants to go all out. He's got a little bit of Omni-Vamp. He's got his jungler right next to him. And NRG's got no hope of taking down the widest Whipple here.
I did think that was going to be a moment where we're like, oh no, he's gone too far in, or he's been caught out on the Cassante.
Everything's good.
Having a great time here in this first game.
They're not falling off this time.
No, right there is Palafox and Contracts do not want to be turned into content from FlyQuest social media channels, but I don't know if they're going to be able to stop it. Here comes a TP from Dokla. The Scion ain't tanky. Inspired's here in the front line. They finally might be able to burst him down, but a 4-man shockwave into the follow-up for the Atofo strikes. FlyQuest might have lost one, but they're gonna make NRG rue the day they came to fight in this mid lane. FlyQuest with a 4-man push straight into the heart of the base.
Trying to keep the minions alive here, Quad, with the questionable teleport. They can't end off of this one because Palafox could clear that wave, but it takes a bit of a miracle to actually get a kill on him here.
Yeah.
Oh, look out.
I don't think this is going to take an entire miracle to get the kill on Dokla, though. The Scion flashing back over the wall. He will stay alive for now. Vault Breaker ready from Inspired. A little bit more damage here onto the big man in top lane. Might get another Whipple over the wall again with a massive engage. FBI is the first to die. Whipple gets traded back this time, and Palafox has the shutdown. Get your soul point. 26 minutes into the game, about 9,000 gold ahead. Why not add another little bonus here onto the FlyQuest performance in game number 1?
had to use cleanse all game, but he just has it because
I actually can't
extra
remember him
insurance.
using it now, but
The only time he got hit,
may have had.
the only time he got hit by the arrow was the mid lane where the Mikhails was used on him instead. That's the wrong base, dude. This is the wrong base. It's not yours. That's not. Okay. Trying to step forward and challenge at the Baron, but the problem is, man, he is one of your main engages, and he is dead. Contracts will not be allowed anywhere near the pit. He's got 40% HP, and Whippo is just a brick wall to try to get through. Baron secured. Accusation coming out from chat for the mid laner of FlyQuest here in this first game. This might change everything as Masu, there's the cleanse we were talking about. Summoner spells used to get the FlyQuest AD carry away as Dokla and Contract try to put pressure onto the back line, but Quad is still staying alive and fighting him off. Contract's first to die. Dokla gets away off to the side. Palafox running as the True Shot barrage goes wide, and FBI and Huhi are still just scrambling, backpedaling, trying to clear distance between themselves and FlyQuest because Mystic Shot charges half a health bar per transaction. FlyQuest are not done pushing. The mid lane inhibitor's about to die to the minions. There it goes. The next wave is ready here in bottom lane. Tier 2, blink and you'll miss. NRG, they'll at least grab a tier 1 up here in the top lane. Hey. Palafox will pick that up, but it's
the more impressive thing, as we see if Whippo and Inspired might want to go for Palafox again.
That was a Kasante moment right there.
I mean,
just gonna walk away from the Scion, go all out on him now. Inspired is finishing Gromp. He is more concerned about Gromp than he is about Palafox and Dokla. Masu soloed the dragon.
He's truly become SOS.
Inspired just did, where he just is almost torturing NRG, making them walk back to base, because he was never going to actually fight them, but he was making sure they had to do what he wanted.
Man, if FlyQuest is playing with their food, they're making NRG look chewy right now. These guys are just not standing the test of time as FlyQuest are done toying around. They are done with game 1, and they are looking to end it here. Palafox finally finds a shuffle, but it's far too late for that. Quad goes on a rampage. NRG gets aced. The only cost is just Whippo there in the top lane, and it's a trade he's happy to make. It was one-sided straight out of the gate, 22-5. 14,000 gold lead, Dragon Soul, Baron, the whole kitchen sink. FlyQuest takes game 1.
Really strong early duo as far as those skirmishes on the top side as well. It's going to be pretty exciting stuff. Kobe's got an interview to do, so he is heading on over for that.
To mop up these first 3 grubs on top side off of that kill as well.
Yum yum, free grubs, jungler's favorite snack.
2 plates here to Dokla if he greeds just a little bit, and this lane is flipping on the side.
Could be a dive angle, but Whippo's about to crash this wave.
No
Contracts is about to crash into Whippo. He's going to take a nap, and he's about to take a dirt nap right after. Plenty of damage between these two. I don't see a world where Whippo gets away from it. He cannot drain tank that as Palafox flashes away. Busio's coming in. The cow just tramples him. FlyQuest support, grabbing a kill on that one, but now he can't get away because Contracts is here on the escape angle to cut him off. Couple of plays here in this game.
He absolutely is. So after Contracts got that kill in the top lane, this is the mid lane play. It's fine if FlyQuest have to burn this much. Flash, Ignite, Alistair.
Trader, Crypto Bro, Contracts, Photoshop.
Do want to break down the stats here, though. It means
we guessed it correctly.
We guessed it. I imagine when he's been ahead in scrims, he's gone elsewhere. They going for Palafox, though.
Oh, Palafox getting caught out here. Needs a little bit more distance to try to escape all the way. Busio needs the last auto attack for the lockdown, but he ain't gonna find it. The Heartbreaker from Inspired makes his way into the fight, and he steps into the range of the curtain call, but now a big sleep. Watch out, he Contracts again, making so many moves here for this NRG team in game number 2. FBI's gonna try to get away as Quad sends his soldiers forward, and Whippo is ready to chase down FBI, who he gets away underneath the tier 1 as Masu and Quad are working together with Whippo to take down that Fed jungler. FlyQuest ain't stopping yet. Whippo eats one more turret shot, and now it's just barely the escape for who he got the Sky Splitter. Just barely misses him. FlyQuest got a big fight there, but the entire time, Big Dokes was taking big turrets in top lane.
And that's the thing. This is a 4v5, so the overall gold is still 3,000 in favor of
Dokla's TP was...
Hold on, Whippo in a 1v4. No, he's not. He's just already dead. Dokla taking a killing spree on that one. Hey, guys, NRG is working together as a team. They are setting...
They're just going to take the tier 2 actually in top lane.
Yeah, they'll take tier 2 in top, or tier... FlyQuest will take tier 1 in top. NRG will take tier 2.
Strongest to victory or defeat for this team. So really big credit in the early game here with Dokla and Contracts consistently targeting Bwipo and keeping him down.
And now the big thing for NRG, if we see whether FlyQuest will want to go into on Dokla.
Uh-oh, re-engage from NRG. Busio in danger. The Alistar ain't gonna be able to tank that one up.
Q that ends up being really, really tough for them. Here, the big thing for me is they have all of the tools to get onto FlyQuest's carries, right?
Kill there. So FlyQuest getting a little bit back while Bwipo is forced away in the bottom lane. Deadly Flourish.
They are, they're about to lose this mid turret off of the Herald.
Deciding to fight later. They did have this bot lane pushed, which they might still try and play around with the Azir sneaking here, so they could be setting up a bit of a trap for Bwipo.
Bwipo going in. Palafox tries to leave. Sky Splitter doesn't accomplish a whole lot here, but they'll summon up the Sun Disc. Dokla and Contracts are coming in. They shuffle the Croc right on back, but he'll continue to slice forward. Bwipo will stand and fight. He has no other choice. Quad is surely going to die to Contracts right here. Palafox grabbing the first kill, and NRG's about to make it 2. Easily done.
A really good spot. He's 3-0-3 right now, up 2.3K over Bwipo as...
Ooh, who he? Nope, not getting away from that one. Looked like for a second, Palafox and Contracts trying to make their approach. The Baron is going to be burned low, down to 2,000 HP, and Contracts isn't anywhere nearby. The Baron falls, and FlyQuest claim it. Busio's the first one sacrificed. Had a flashback over the Baron pit wall to escape, so it's a trade. They lose their support, but they get the Baron. Remember, they killed the enemy support at the very start. Now the backs are going to get interrupted. Contracts wanted to go in here with the Hourglass as Bwipo gets locked up. An extra kill will go the way of NRG here on the very back end of things. As Palafox jumps forward, he'll find a kill and flashback away. That's the Palafox.
Backbreaker for NRG. Maybe they int when they're trying to get the Baron buffs off of FlyQuest and suddenly the game's close. But look at this response here. Can they get Inspired?
Inspired's low, but he gets away for now. Quad with the engage here for the shuffle, but there's no follow-up. Bullet time finally arrives over the wall, and Contracts gets traded back jungler for jungler as FBI has to try to...
And now they are in good control of the game, so it's, can you close this out cleanly?
And that, to me, makes this game, at this point...
Be able to push back, have good control over the Drake.
Dokla immediately finds Bwipo and just unleashes a can of whoop-ass on him. But now, who's in trouble? Dokla locked up in the middle of 4. He can't find his kill. They're just trying to lure FlyQuest over. They want to try to force the fight instead. Busio leading the charge for FlyQuest on the approach. Has a lot of lockdown on the front line. Destroys Huhi. FlyQuest have found their first pick, and Dokla goes into dominance trying to fight back. Contract into the back line of FlyQuest, but he ain't finding the pressure he needs here just yet. Gonna grab the first kill as Palafox goes on a rampage. Dokla trying to protect FBI as Bwipo dives into the back, but it ain't gonna matter. NRG! They found 2, and they need to get more. Quad wants to get out as the Emperor tries to flash it away, but Palafox won't let him. NRG is cleaning up this fight with a bullet time over the wall, maybe, but not enough.
Right, but also Quad and Masu were not necessarily able to get in. As we see this, again, Busio goes in, kicks Huhi back. Huhi goes down pretty quickly, but Inspired is able to take over Leona, and I mean, Dokla is really taking care of Inspired and Bwipo here.
I really thought after the original pick that this was going to be an NRG game throw, but Bwipo goes continually deep. I think if he had pulled back to the rest of his team, maybe there's a chance. And then the finish by Palafox just ends up being incredibly effective. He continues the chase, he kills Quad, and then Inspired can't quite get Palafox while he's close enough to the bullet time to get the max amount of damage and ends up just giving away another death. And you can see how much this means. How hyped up NRG is right now.
I feel like you can see like a relief just rising off of Croissant's shoulders in the background as he's yelling. And Jet, you said it wasn't pretty. It was not.
It was not.
But it does look...
As much as this does seem like an NRG victory, I am not counting it
here in top. Bwipo just trying to guard any sort of an angle off to the side here. Dokla is trying to approach from that same angle. Cannon minions doing a lot of work here on the tier 3 turret. That one's going to collapse. Probably just one more shot from that cannon minion. There it goes.
There we go.
Curtain call opens up. Quad stuck in the stasis, having to flash away now as the bullet time fires back. Boostio on the front line, bought a lot of time, and Inspired takes down Huhi. Nice snipe coming out from FBI to make it a 1-for-1 as both supports fall. Inspired has to go back into the fountain and heal up a little bit more.
That was doing a really good job of marking Bwipo, where Bwipo might be able to come around on the flank. As we see contracts going in.
Yeah, contracts also with that verdant barrier makes it a lot easier for him to make these approaches on the Lilia to get in there and set up these fights. Now once more the Zhonya is being used to stay safe against the bullet time. Yes, Huhi's low, but they don't really care that much. He has Warmogs. The Leona is going to rapidly regenerate. NRG knows they can all pressure this bottom lane because they have free pressure in the other 2 lanes with the super minions they've already earned. Neither one of those is going to be respawning super soon here. So now with their 5v4, they're going for the last lane, the last angle. Deadly Flourish locks up Boostio, forcing out the Unbreakable Will before any sort of a fight even starts. That means as soon as Boostio goes in, he's dead in the next fight. FlyQuest scrambling to heal up, go for their last defense here at the goal line as NRG keeps the pressure on. Another nice Deadly Flourish from FBI. No way for the rest of the team to follow up there on Masu. Remember, the Misfortune still does have that cleanse if they try to overcommit. First Nexus turret taking a little bit of damage, and the minions are about to arrive to facilitate a little bit more. Got it down below half now. Dokla is on full fury, full dominance mode. Here on the Croc. Boostio wanted to make a play, but he ain't gonna find it. Masu with a quick cleanse in case he would have got caught by that solar flare. Dokla wanted to go in and lock up Quad, but the Zhonya is going to keep him alive now as the second Nexus turret dies. Whipple going after Palafox, but he ain't going to find the angle to kill him yet. The front line of FlyQuest is down. Quad is down. Everybody on FlyQuest is going home in body bags. NRG just woke up for playoffs. Masu's firing back. He takes out 2, but it ain't going to matter. NRG tie up the series.
Top lane matchup goes, and there we go. There is the R5 Contracts Nidalee that I know you were so excited about, Flowers. Your face says it all. Inspired and Quad to peek up, right? See what Contracts is up to, keep track of him, and that did give them first rotation on these grubs. Whereas NRG, again, we're just going to see the classic grub to Drake trade down here.
We've been seeing a lot of this throughout the whole split. We're seeing it again a lot here today. So NRG will go ahead and secure themselves that first Drake. But the grubs feel so nice if you can have the lane control, especially early on, to grab some extra plates out of him.
Again, let's see.
Yeah, he's going to lose his bone plating. Dopa already used Slice and Dice. Whippo finds the Decimate heal onto 2. Apprehend as he tries to flash away. Inspired wants to help him out. Masu with a nice arrow yet again, but it is not enough. NRG sent enough dudes. 3v1 can burst down the Darius. NRG's going to tie up the game in kills. Boostio's down here in the bottom lane, trying to make sure they can maybe get something else here on Palafox. Bard himself doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but you don't need a whole lot when you got aim like that on the ulti. He'll set it up for Quad to knock it down.
And that just shows them, since Quad is really off to the races now.
Yeah, Quad's off to the races, but Dokla is in a really good spot in this top.
Cannot destroy him inside the trapezoid, which is normally the intended play pattern against Whippo.
Is that the new rule of the Bwipo trapezoid?
He's like a boss in a video game that has a specific mechanic that you have to use.
The top laners would have just been playing this little game of chicken about who can interrupt the teleport as they fight Drake. In this case, it's just a full trade. And it leads to this, too.
Okay. NRG wanted to make a 4-man dive on this bottom lane play, but look at Dokla. The teleport cooldown was used, but it was interrupted. He couldn't make his way down here. So with many game states, but when you're up against the Ziggs, who's always going to open every fight with a Mega Inferno Bomb to just do massive AoE, he's going for Locket instead to fortify the entire team in these bigger fights.
And I think Inspired has definitely shifted his playstyle from what we've seen in summer so far in this series. This is 3-for-3 games. They've played mages mid. It's 3-for-3 games. He's actually not been on a farming jungler. And it's again the Whippo show. He's cleared the wave.
Yeah, but now Huhi stuck underneath the turret. Whippo might be able to bring him down here. The Decimate!
That's
the Noxian Guillotine! Heads will roll, but it's only 2 of them, 1 for each. It's time for a Rift Herald play. That tier 1 turret ain't gonna last very long. The charge complete.
He was actually able to thin out and take away the wave, get a 1-for-1 trade.
Ooh,
the arrow
nice shot. There is no way the Nidalee gets out of that one. Junglers can't take cleanse, but FlyQuest now have to figure out their way.
They're going to try.
Out of this one, they'll summon up the Sun Disc. Gives them a spot to fall back to. They do have to respect the range of the Ziggs, though. FBI can still inflict a lot of hurt on these FlyQuest trio.
That in, and now the cross map after Whipple holds off that dive leads to yet more advantages, but this is all about the Darius changing the way this game is being zoned now, because they're going to eventually want to defend this, but there's a fight on the top side and he can't make it there.
Inspired, though, is fine to be the one here on the front lines for FlyQuest. He is completely unafraid of the engage energy.
Oh!
Why are we trying to engage on set 20? A perfectly timed arrow. Busio and Masu lining up the ults like they practiced it day and night. Dokla has to run away over the wall through the magical journey, but Quad trying to protect Busio. Dokla's going to take one with him, but it's still a 3-for-1 for FlyQuest.
Really liked what I've seen from him in these games. As we see Whippo just taking down that tier 2 top side uncontested.
There's been a lot of things that have changed.
We've had some weird elementary school lessons today.
We've all learned a lot together, and now Contracts is going to learn what does Darius do. And I guess if he's in the middle of 3 people, he might not do a whole lot. Looks like he might die here. Yes, sir! Contracts shows him what Nidalee does, but the counterattack from FlyQuest is there, and who he gets locked up and beat down. Bard ulti misses that time. Just a 1-for-1 trade. Whipple thought he had a little bit more power than he actually did. I think the Sterix gauge might have gave him some false confidence on that one. He drops. NRG's going to be happy for any sort of an even trade at this point in the game. 5,000 gold behind.
Even with that, though, FlyQuest have mid-prio, right? And they had set up bot, which they ended up having to kind of abandon to come to this fight. But they still end up getting mid-tier 2 off of that. Even though
but NRG,
they want to do something.
Yeah, they threw out that Zenith blade looking for Whippo, but now his apprehend connects. NRG could be in some serious danger. Whippo, though, he's going to find his first kill. FBI gets guillotined, and Whippo redeems himself in mid lane. A binding into the wall, and Palafox will fall. Masu picks up another, and it's
into what could be a game-deciding play. That's multiple kills over to Darius. That's the Baron over to FlyQuest. They can reset.
But Inspired is still locking Huhi up. There we go. A little bit of tempered fate to guarantee that Leona isn't getting away. Masu goes
in so many dangerous situations themselves. And now they're just slow pushing these waves and actually trying to take 2 inhibitors while their Baron is up, not prioritizing the Infernal Drake because they're so far away from Soul anyway. I really like this play to just slingshot their gold advantage as much as possible while they have Baron.
All right, tier 3 turret's already down in mid. Might as well do the same thing here in bottom. FlyQuest sees no reason not to. Dokla had to pop the ulti, but now he's in full retreat. Palafox coming around for a flank, but it's a very late angle. He might just die again. He's got 20% HP. Dokla singing the same song. That pincer attack is just going to lose all the gas before it even really starts. And now Palafox is going to recall anyway. FlyQuest gets means that NRG can't fight back in time. That's double super minions, and just walk a little bit faster. Okay, top lane's arriving at the same time. All right, the minions are crashing, and NRG is going to have to make their final stand. Dokla gets away for now. Whippo wanted to chase after him here, but now the Darius might get punished. Sterix Gage ready to keep him alive, and Whippo goes on a rampage with the guillotine yet again. He's looking to chop some croc, but he doesn't quite get it. It's Busio finishing the job as the Nexus turrets are not lasting much longer. It's still 5 alive for FlyQuest. Right in the enemy base, 15-4. FlyQuest moves to match point.
Dangerous call, Flowers, but it was a dangerous game.
We're starting to see a lot more Smolder mid.
I actually quite like Smolder mid. I think it's pretty strong, and especially because Corki has actually taken quite a few nerfs, you can actually trade aggressively with this champion.
Again, in a double AD comp, Ivern is just such a benefit, and we'll see how they'll be able to pilot it.
I do like the fact that we get to talk about this now because Ivern has been banned so much against Contracts because he's been so good on Ivern. And it doesn't even take that many games for him to draw these bans. Career-wise, he's 8-4 on Ivern, which may not seem like much. His career win rate is about 50%, so it's definitely one of his better champions. but I think specifically, kind of across the globe, teams that really understand how to play with and around Ivern, the pick just looks so
at his peak. So NRG putting that faith in him. We'll have to see if it can pay off. They are going to find a potential angle here on Busio's Leona, who tries to flash away, who tries to escape, but it's bullet time.
As well as the kill, just kind of adds insult to injury for Quad. Palafox's game 2 on the Corki was one of the best games he's played all year, and being in this position where it's hard for people on FlyQuest to actually apply pressure to him, as well as having Trinity Force and tier stacking, means he could be poised to take us to game 5 if he plays well.
Ooh, Huhi going in for the engage on Bwipo. Dokla wants to follow it up a little bit, but Bwipo with ulti and flash both going to commit that ulti to escape. Palafox brings the wave into the tier 1 turret, but Bwipo goes back underneath the turret to try to destroy the wave, bait NRG into a bad fight, but Contract secures the kill on the enemy top laner. FlyQuest has already lost 1, and Daisy's tanking up underneath the turret, trying to make it 2. The Drake secured by Inspired on the other side of the map at the same time, but oh man, this is like being stranded in the ocean watching the sharks circle you. Busio is stuck underneath the tier 1 turret. Help is not coming. And
6-4 might be 7-4. It's definitely not that 0-14. Another play being initiated here by NRG and Huhi.
Bwipo almost has dominance, but the cooldown still has a few more seconds left. And those few crucial seconds are the difference maker. Palafox on the killing spree now, as Masu and Inspired want to go after FBI, but the bullets here 1. Contracts and Huhi at the same time. They're going in. The enemy red buff is the target, and Inspired's got to try to get away fast. He still wants to try to contest it here. Will use the smite to secure. Huhi and Contracts now looking to make their exit as Mom is summoned in, and that's
really low turret when they don't have the minion debuff, and it just like rejects them and hits them.
0.5, not 0.05. For the Drake, that much easier. And with Palafox just being as far ahead as he is, it's very easy to just force that.
Yeah, good recognition from NRG.
All right.
This is how I would expect this to play out when FlyQuest has the 2 early Drakes, but they are the team in a deficit. I think the highest chance of victory is to trade Drakes for gold until Soul becomes a threat.
Right.
So that's why Bwipo is able to get that first turret for FlyQuest. It marginally closes the gold lead, and it's a fight that they might not have been able to win anyway.
Teleport coming in for FlyQuest. They want the pick on Palafox. Mom provides the extra firepower needed, and the shutdown money goes to Bwipo.
Should be able to clean up this turret on bot side.
All right, Bwipo still looking for his angle here.
Whoa.
He's made his way onto FBI. The sleep finally arrives. The heal from Redemption, keeping the carry alive. But right as he tries to go for the bullet time, Bwipo shuts him down. The slow from Smolder connects on multiple targets on Energy, and Inspired takes out Huhi as well. Okay, we've got Baron down to 8K. Energy's still hanging around for now. Double teleports coming in, 1 from either side. Busio standing on top of the Energy reinforcement zone, but he may have walked a little bit too close. Busio with a flash out, eats 1 more rocket. They won't kill him just yet, but Huhi burns him down. Energy still got all 5 alive as Bwipo has to disengage with the Serix Gauge. Inspire going on a killing. Right back into the back line. Another blooming blow.
Store items compared to the thrift store from Contracts is more effective when you're in a long 5v5. So they get that, they equalize the gold, and now they're turning for 3rd Drake.
You gotta buy that name brand. Sometimes it's basically the same thing. Other times it makes a difference, and it made a difference here for FlyQuest. Let's watch it again.
Yeah, the big thing here for me is watching where FlyQuest's carries are in response to NRG. They get the equalizer off.
Being ready to stop them.
It's low.
Okay, Baron at 4K. Bwipo's already popped the dominance. Inspired making his way into the pit. Can he try to steal it away? No, he has to go golden just for a second. Bwipo's onto FBI though. The shutdown on Inspired. Palafox grabbing a kill there. Contract still in the pit. Baron's gonna be secured by Energy. But the fight after, they've already lost Dokla. They gotta be careful. Monster's now on the run. Palafox takes them down. The fight's gonna end for Energy. They're looking to take this. A triple over to Palafox. A double back over to Quad the other way. Bwipo is cutting Palafox down. This dude is unleashed. Yeah! Baron power play because of the fact that they can't push multiple lanes at once. So Contracts is the fuel for this engine. It's kind of ironic since he's a piece of wood, and that's typically what those do. But this bottom lane is burning up right now. 2-3 turret about to die already. FlyQuest shows up fast enough to protect it, but it is so incredibly low. Whipple's on the front line. Mob comes in. Palafox gets away, but just barely. Boostio's still here frontlining. NRG trying to stay alive, but they got to scramble. Whipple's finding another one. Quad goes on a killing spree. Everybody on NRG is dropping left, right, and center.
Over here, right? Like, he is not getting to the fight anytime.
They are fighting for their lives. It's 30 seconds until the next Drake spawns. They use Mob. It sets up perfect for the Deadly Flourish to have the hard CC on Huhi. He's going to try to escape as, again, Whipple goes after Palafox. He messes up his QSS. He's not getting away, as NRG has to still try to get their remaining guys out of trouble, but Inspired has killed Huhi. FBI's trapped in the middle of the FlyQuest team. Quad is unstoppable, and it's only a Rumble and an Ivern against all of FlyQuest squad.
And it's a disaster for NRG, who were about to drop down to the lower bracket. Inspired completely 1v2 to the top of that fight to buy them time. They're teleporting in with the 5v2, and they might look to end.
It looks like they want the throat right now. FlyQuest going for the kill shot. NRG might have had a good early game, but too many mistakes turned into too many punishes. It was too much to endure, and FlyQuest are gonna come back from that deficit. They're gonna finish this series 3-1, and they're gonna go on to face Cloud9 next week.
They get the 3-1. Inspired.
All right, thanks, Flowers. I'm here. Busio, you just took down your first series in playoffs. You have the big matchup against Cloud9 set up next week. How are you feeling about it?
Pretty good. I mean, this was more of a warm-up, and just getting ready for C9 next week for sure, yeah.
Did it still feel like a warm-up during the series? And I think that was a lot of people's expectation, but it started to feeling like it was getting a bit more competitive there.
That's why it's a warm-up. You know, it's the first series.
Okay.
Still like a bit of nerves, you know, just like not really playing fully ready. But yeah, that's why I'm glad we had this game before we face C9.
How happy were you with how you played and how you guys played as a bot lane and your preparation coming into this series? You know, I think your Bard game was really impressive in particular, but you know, you probably wanted to have the 3-0.
Oh yeah, for sure. Like the second game, my team fighting wasn't great, but also it was like a pretty chaotic game, and like they had the bot prowess, so it wasn't that easy to do much. But overall, we played fine. Definitely a lot to review. Even in this last game that we just won, like the early game was pretty sus. So yeah, just glad we have the games that we can watch now.
Well, obviously you just finished, but if there's one thing you wanted to take away from this series, you know, to try to improve on for next week, what would that be?
Probably knowing when to do something versus when to not, because in these kind of slow playoff games, it's pretty important to know when you should be going for a play versus when you shouldn't. Like when we're slowly winning and we're just going to win the game if nothing happens versus when we actually have to go for plays. That's a pretty important mindset shift to get. Yeah.
Is that something that you think, you know, becomes more difficult to do in playoffs where maybe the stakes are higher, the nerves are maybe there a little bit more?
The games are just slower. So there's less random situations, and it's just slower, so then you really need to choose your fights.
So going into next week, what are your expectations about the bot lane matchup against Cloud9? Feeling pretty good about it?
Yeah, I'm feeling pretty good. I don't think C9's bot lane is the best in the league. I think we're better than them, so yeah.
Would you guys have yourselves as the best bot lane in the league right now then?
I would say us or TL.
Okay.
For sure, yeah.
So you're expecting to be able to take out Cloud9 next week?
Yeah, of course.
All right, well, we'll see if you can do it. Congratulations on the win. You played really well today. Back to everyone at the lounge. Good job, man.
What's up, guys? Oh my God.
Oh.
That wasn't a fast series. That was somewhat
Thanks, bro.
competitive. What would you call that series?
I mean, it was not fast, but it also did feel like FlyQuest, you know, was going to win for the majority of it. So I kind of agree with Busio. That was their warm-up.
Yeah.
There were some things that they definitely needed to warm up.
True.
Definitely some errors that they needed to clean up. And I like that they're kind of viewing it as this training before their rematch with Cloud9. That's going to be super exciting. So hopefully for their sake, they can, you know, clean some of those things up. They showed some fun, you know, Whippo counterpick classics as well.
That's true. Actually, that's something that is going to be a really fun takeaway. Not just his fun picks like Volibear and Darius, but also just like the mage picks that we're finally seeing from Quad now that the meta's kind of shifted towards that for him. so there's a lot there. I just liked, at least from NRG side, that they showcase some fight, that they are improving upon this. That being said, enough of that. Enough about your financial situation now that NRG has lost this one out.
we didn't even mention that.
But it was on the top of everyone's mind. Let's talk about Player of the Series. Player of the Series goes to QUAD. Quad played really damn well this series.
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for a while, Quad has been really, really consistent for this team. We first saw it when he was playing like high-pressure Lucian games, his Tristana games, but now using the mages as well, which he was known for so long. Just very consistent, good pressure without a lot of necessary resources being allocated to him early. Like, doesn't get a lot of jungle hover time early on, doesn't get a lot of, support ganks either, even though we did see more this series. But I feel like him and Inspired were quite consistent. The bottom lane had some really good games, like the Ashe and Bard game was insane for Masu and Busio, but then some of the other games were a little bit misses for them, and it was a little bit of a roller coaster.
Ooh, the positioning for that team fight as well for Quad was really damn good. Quad, my GOAT, that is true. Played that series really well. You already mentioned bot lane. Even though Busio's coming out thinking we made a lot of mistakes, blah, 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 kind of going through all the negatives, he performed really well. And to your point, just the team looked great.
Yeah, I mean, it's really funny, too, to think back. Remember when they first got Quad and how much controversy it was because they were getting rid of Jensen? And then you have APA like trash talking and he's like, bring back Jensen. Yeah. This Quad guy sucks. But Quad now, it's hard to imagine this FlyQuest without him. He's such a critical part to their game plan now that I think he's going to be critical for the rest of their playoffs as well. And I'm excited for the rematch with Cloud9.
We've got a long road ahead of us.